brilliant criminals. My associates in a quest for uranium. Glasses.
Not quite now, convict Billy. Hard liquor before noon.
Are you sailing on the Niagara?
Africa bound.
You're a very mysterious group, I must say.
Really, Gwendolyn?
You must excuse my wife. She has a very lively imagination.
Good morning, Mr. Danrada. I bring you the captain's compliments, along with the sad news that the sailing of the SS Niagara has been postponed.
Doesn't this delay call for a cable to your friend in British East?
Mustn't send cables. Can't you get it through your head, Peterson? If the population down there has trained noses, they can smell a uranium deal.
Watch yourself, laddie.
Billy, did you see this? Paul Van Meer, high-ranking official, has been killed.
Why was Peterson worried about Van Meer? What made him think he was dangerous?
He was afraid Van Meer wouldn't stay bought.
Who are the Chelms?
They're English going out to British East. They have a coffee plantation.
If you imagine that Harry's simply going to Africa to plant coffee, you're very much mistaken. The land he's acquiring is extremely rich in certain minerals which are indispensable to the production of atomic energy. Harry's land simply teems with uranium. Wouldn't surprise me to see him become a uranium king.
You and I are flying to Africa by the next plane.
Oh, what's happened, Peterson? Must be something important to get you on a plane.
I prefer to fly rather than run the risk of arriving too late.
1, 2,
There's been a terrible accident. Your husband's car drove over a cliff.
He's saying that Billy is dead.
What's the matter with all of you? Somebody dead?
Mr. Peterson, radiogram.
No Chelm Estate, Gloucestershire. Stop. Nolan the Gentry Chelms.
What do you make of that?
He's not a Gloucestershire squire. It's incredible. Harry Chelm is just
Harry Chelm.
nothing, nobody, a ruddy refugee from Earl's Court.
Ah. And now may I ask what explanation you have to offer?
It's all your fault. I suppose you know that.
My fault?
Well, the poppycock you've been peddling, all that junk about the Chelm interest in London, uranium on your land.
Well, in a way, you're the one to blame.
I'm the...
I mean, you acted so superior. I was falling in love with you, and I couldn't bear it for you to think I was just a nobody.
Why don't you forget the whole thing? What possible interest do you expect the colonial office to take in?
On the contrary, I expect them to show considerable interest in a gang of crooks who are trying to swindle the country out of vast uranium deposits.
Nice, happy little junkie.
What's happening? What's going on here?
The oil pump's on the blink. The electricity's failed.
Utter folly. A ship lying in darkness this way, we might well be rammed at any minute. I'll tend to this myself. Which way is the engine room? I'm happy to inform you that the oil pump is now in perfect working condition. The engines are turning. Anyhow, we may now proceed without further delay and in absolute safety. But I'm the same person on the ship. That's why you're against me. Let me go. I'll kill the lot of you.
A terrifying experience. An incompetent crew, a burning ship, put overboard in a small boat at dead of night. Tell us at once where we are. It's important I know.
Africa.
If you think we're the enemies of your country, the logical thing is to boot us out.
Where are you taking me? I won't go.
My late husband, who was drowned in the Niagara disaster, happened to be one of the most important figures in the British government, Sir Harry Chelm. So you see, if any harm befalls us at your hands, it will become a major international incident.
I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may.
Well, what's it all about?
I believe you were acquainted with a Mr. Van Meer, now deceased.
Mr. Van Meer was expert on African matters.
We wanted his advice about affairs in British East.
I think you ought to know that the business of one of these businessmen is murder. Major Ross, I mean. My husband found out certain things about Mr. Peterson, involving, as they do, a plot to exploit our kingdom's uranium resources.
As I said before, very smart fellows indeed.
Harry! He's alive!